This lesson introduces multi-dimensional array continuously. I'll begin with three-dimensional arrays. So three-dimensional arrays we can see as an array of two-dimensional arrays. So we may need to use three indexes. One refers to row. Second one is refers to column. Last one refers to depth. Let me revisit previous arrays. So let me begin with single dimensional array. Normally I draw it vertically, but it can be drawn vertically. ID is array reference variable point to data structure that has two elements in this case, 10, 20, or we can say same rotations representing single dimensional array 10 and 20. For this example, I will change to B and then change to two elements 30 and 40. So we have two single dimensional arrays. Now let's move to two-dimensional arrays. Two-dimensional arrays, it looks like a table or matrix. It has a row and also it has a columns. Let me use the AA. So we have two columns. Also we have two rows. This time I will say 200, 300, 400. Okay, we have two-dimensional arrays. And then we often say that two-dimensional array is an array of single-dimensional arrays. So let me visualize it. So we have array reference variable. They point to single array so that we have two rows. If I'm using same example, so we have two rows. And then each row represents one-dimensional array. The first row represents single-dimensional array, two elements, 10 and 20. Second row represents another one-dimensional array, which is going to be 30 and 40. Again, the array, two-dimensional array name is here AA. We have an index 0 and 1 for the rows, and also we have an index for columns. In this case, we have again 0 and 1. So let me just type it. We have index 0 and 1 that refers to AA 0 and 1. Also, we have two columns that also refers to AA 0 and 0. Also, second one refers to AA 1, 0 and 1. So if I pick one example here, number first elements referring to row and object array reference variable with the column 0. So AA 0, 0 refers to number 10. Let's move to three-dimensional array. So three-dimensional arrays we can draw as a cube, or you can see that there are rows representing a single dimension, also columns that can represent up to 2 dimensions. Also, we need the tabs so that we can stack up two-dimensional arrays that represent three-dimensional arrays. So we often visualize three-dimensional array as a cube, or you can say a stack of two-dimensional arrays. So it has exactly the same thing. We have a row that representing row index representing one-dimensional array. For two-dimensional array, we need a row and then column indexes. Three-dimensional arrays also we need a row index and then column index. Also, we need tabs index. So basically, we need three indexes for three-dimensional arrays. Again, I'm going to use the same rotation here. So when we say three-dimensional array, say it's an array of two-dimensional arrays. So first one we can say first two-dimensional array. The second depth we can say second two-dimensional array. So that will be AAA. So let me just type some comments. Okay, now let me draw again for visualizing three-dimensional array that refers to an array of two-dimensional arrays. So let me draw three-dimensional array as a one single dimensional array that refers to two-dimensional arrays because there are two rows. So there are two rows and three columns. As I have to redraw it. So the first row represent two-dimensional array, should be 2 by 3. So let me make a minor change. There should be 3 columns, sorry. There should be 3 columns too. So that will be, let me just say AAA. 3-dimensional array can be seen as a 1-dimensional array referring to 2-dimensional arrays because we have 2 rows. And then again 0 and 1. That refers to 0, 1, 2. Again 0 and 1. So let me put some numbers, 10, 20, 30. And then 60. Second one, I may use a slightly bigger number, maybe 100, 200, all the way to 600. Okay, that was a 3-dimensional array. Okay, let's pick one example. AAA that refers to index 0. Again, next one is also 0, last one is also 0. That refers to elements value 10. So most important thing is the first 0 is an index of a single dimensional array. Second and third one, those indexes belongs to 2-dimensional array. So this is a single dimensions. This is a 2-dimensional arrays. So make sure you referring to the index of a single dimensional array here. And then the second one and third index referring to 2-dimensional arrays. So that's the idea of array of a 2-dimensional array. Okay, let's create a new project, then quickly go through codings. So even though we are looking at a 3-dimensional array, this is actually a multi-dimensional array. So I will try to use the same example as much as I can. So let's look at the 1-dimensional array. I'm going to use the very similar notation. It means similar to diagram. I put it as a row, 10 and 20. That represent a single dimensional array. Again, A and 10 and 20. I will move to B. Sorry, and 40. Because we use the term array of single dimensional array for 2-dimensional arrays, you should be familiar with single dimensional array in the horizontal way. But main idea is here two-dimensional array. $60. Again, that's the AA. Let me adjust it so that syntax looks very familiar. Let me move to next two-dimensional array. Let me copy paste it. So that one I will say BB. $300 and then $400, $500, $600. Because three-dimensional array is array of two-dimensional array. That's why I am going to have a two-dimensional arrays here. That's AA and BB. So now let me declare three-dimensional array. Again, if you know initial value, again that's referring to AA. So that I will just copy paste it. And then let me add a second two-dimensional array. Again, it looks a bit messy, so let me adjust it. Try to make it similar to a two-dimensional array. So that second row referring to two-dimensional array, if you look at the picture. So let me move up, adjust it, okay. That's the one that should be up there, okay. So we have two rows of two-dimensional array. First dimension, second two-dimensional array. So now we have a three-dimensional array. Let's print them all one by one. So let's say print n arrays means one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional arrays. I'm going to use overloading methods. Depends on actual parameter. Formal parameter will pick the right methods. So first one, I'm going to deal with a single dimensional array. Again, A, and then, AI. That's it. So we will print n 10 and 20. Let me just put some comments so that we can see that that is A. $10 and $20. Again, same visual. Let's look at the two-dimensional array. I'll print AA. Let me copy, and then I'm going to make overloading methods. only 4 more parameters different. This is for one-dimensional array. That's printing two-dimensional array. So 4 more parameter, I'll change to two-dimensional array, AAA. So I will say int. There should be two brackets. That should be AAA. We need one more loop to process the column. I will use the J, refers to columns. Plus. Assign J less than AI, okay. Again, after process columns, I like to separate the row. So I say print plus one space. Let me add one new line. So the layout looks like exactly the same as two-dimensional array declarations. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, same. Just in case, let me put some comments. One-dimensional array. Next one, I will say two-dimensional arrays. So now we are looking at three-dimensional array. Now you can guess that we need another overloading methods. This time I'm going to use a AAA. That's the actual parameter. Now we need overloading methods, which is the same name as other method name, but the formal parameter is different. In this case, we are dealing with a three-dimensional array. So change to three-dimensional array for the actual parameter. AAA. So formal parameter supposed to be three-dimensional. Let me change to AAA to make it more consistent. So one more brackets, AAA. Same thing we need to change. That's the row. This is reporting to column. We need to have one more that can process depths of three-dimensional array. Okay, that will be k aa.ij.length, then k plus. Again, that should be AAA, ijk. Okay, that seems okay. K refers to depths, J refers to column, I refers to row. Okay, let's try. So we have, again, it looks a bit funny, so let me go back. Again, new line should be added after we print column, so it should be there. Okay, let's try again. So now we have, okay, two-dimensional array, two of them, 10 to 60, 100 to 600. Again, that's how you use three-dimensional array. Okay, let's look at the legged object three-dimensional array. Idea is more popular than the normal three-dimensional array. Let me show you quickly. So instead of AAA, I will change to maybe triple B. Let's say you have a 3-dimension or 2. Let's say I start with the 2. So that I will have the same thing. The first one we are going to add AA. That's it. And then second one, we are going to add BB. That gives us exactly the same thing. So let me add one more printing. This time I will say left 3-dimensional array. Again, we change to triple B. Output should be exactly the same. Again, same output. Again, let's change to 3 space for 3-dimensional array. This time we have 3 rows. And then second row, this time I will say BB. That one I changed to CC. This time I changed to 1000, 2000, all the way to 6000. That is going to be triple B number 2 and then CC. As you can see, we have a 3-dimensional array. That was the triple A. This time triple B, 10 to 60, 100 to 600, 1000 to 6000. So that's how you use 3-dimensional array. Also like 3-dimensional array. So if you look at here, 3-dimensional array, there is patterns. And this is array of 2-dimensional arrays. So if you're looking at n-dimensional array or multi-dimensional array, it doesn't matter, depends on n, which is integer value. It can be seen as an array of n-1 dimensional arrays, so that you can process it, same as 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional arrays. Okay, let me quickly adjust the diagram. If you look at AA, I do have 3 columns. So let me change to 10, 20, 30, and then 40, 50, 60. So it will be equivalent to 3-dimensional array. Just make a minor change. So 10, 20, 30, that should be 40, 50, then 60. And then second 2-dimensional array also, I should name it as a PB. Then should be 100 to 600. So let me add one more column. So that will be 300, then 400, 500, 600. So it will be looks more consistent. And then if you look at the A 1020 and then P is 3040, that refers to two-dimensional array AA. So it's consistent. And then three-dimensional array AAA consists with AA and then BB. That's identical picture now. Okay, that's all.